Hello, today we'll be going through practice questions 191 to 200 for the Cisco CCNP exam. Let's begin. What is a characteristic of a Type 2 hypervisor? The correct answer is D. Ideal for client and user system. A Type 2 hypervisor runs on top of an existing operating system, making it ideal for client or end user systems where virtualization is needed for testing, development, or running multiple OS environments. Examples include VMware Workstation and Oracle VirtualBox. Why the other options are incorrect? A. Complicated deployment. Type 2 hypervisors are generally easy to install and use, as they are just applications running on an OS. B. Ideal for a data center. Data centers typically use Type 1 hypervisors for better performance, scalability, and direct hardware access. C. Referred to as bare metal. Bare metal describes Type 1 hypervisors, which run directly on hardware without a host OS. Therefore, the correct answer is D. Which congestion queuing method on Cisco iOS-based routers uses 4 static queues? The correct answer is B. Custom. Custom queuing on Cisco iOS-based routers uses 4 static queues by default. Each queue can be assigned a specific amount of bandwidth, and packets are serviced in a round-robin fashion based on configured byte counts. Why the other options are incorrect? A. Weighted fair. Weighted fair queuing dynamically manages queues based on traffic flow and weights, not fixed static queues. C. Low latency. Low latency queuing is a combination of priority queuing and CBWFQ, designed to minimize delay for specific traffic, but it does not use 4 static queues. D. Priority. Priority queuing uses 4 queues, but they are not the same as custom queuing's static byte-serviced queues. PQ strictly services higher priority queues first until empty. Therefore, the correct answer is B. Which resource is able to be shared among virtual machines deployed on the same physical server? The correct answer is A. Disk. Virtual machines on the same physical server can share physical hardware resources such as CPU, memory, and storage. A shared disk resource can be accessed by multiple VMs, depending on configuration, while still keeping each VM's data logically isolated. Why the other options are incorrect? B. VM configuration file. Each VM has its own unique configuration file that defines its virtual hardware and settings. These are not shared among VMs. C. Applications. Applications installed inside one VM are not shared with other VMs. Each VM operates in its own isolated software environment. D. Operating system. Each VM runs its own independent OS instance. The OS is not shared between VMs unless using container-based virtualization, which is different from traditional VMs. Therefore, the correct answer is A. In a Cisco stack-wise virtual environment, which planes are virtually combined in the common logical switch? The correct answer is C. Control and management. In a Cisco stack-wise virtual environment, the control plane and management plane are virtually combined to form a single logical switch. This allows the two physical switches to operate as one from a configuration and control perspective, while their data planes remain independent for optimal forwarding performance. Why the other options are incorrect? A. Management and data. The data plane is not combined in stack-wise virtual. Each switch still forwards traffic independently. B. Control and forwarding. The forwarding plane is not combined. Only the control and management planes are logically unified. D. Control and data. Similar to option B, the data plane remains separate in stack-wise virtual, so this is incorrect. Therefore, the correct answer is C. Which definition describes JWT in regard to REST API security? The correct answer is C. An encoded JSON token that is used to securely exchange information. JWT is a compact, URL-safe, encoded token used to securely transmit information between parties as a JSON object. It can be digitally signed to ensure integrity and authenticity. JWTs are often used for authentication and authorization, but the definition itself covers securely exchanging information, not just one function. Why the other options are incorrect? A. an encrypted JSON token that is used for authentication. JWTs are typically encoded and signed, not necessarily encrypted. Encryption is optional. B. An encrypted JSON token that is used for authorization. Same issue as option A. Encryption is optional, and JWT's purpose is broader than just authorization. D. An encoded JSON token that is used for authentication. While JWTs are encoded and can be used for authentication, they are also used for authorization and other secure information exchanges, so this definition is too narrow. Therefore, the correct answer is C. Which function is performed by vSmart in the Cisco SD-WAN architecture? The correct answer is A. Distribution of IPsec keys. In the Cisco SD-WAN architecture, the vSmart controller is responsible for centralized control functions, including the distribution of IPsec encryption keys and security policies to all SD-WAN edge devices. This ensures secure communication over the data plane between sites. Why the other options are incorrect? B. Execution of localized policies. Localized policies are applied and executed at the V-edge or C-edge routers, not at the vSmart controller. C. Redistribution between OMP and other routing protocols. This function is handled by the SD-WAN edge devices, which interface with local routing protocols like OSPF or BGP. D. Facilitation of net detection and traversal. Net detection and traversal are handled by the vBorn orchestrator, not the vSmart controller. Therefore, the correct answer is A. Which protocol is implemented to establish secure control plane adjacencies between Cisco SD-WAN nodes? The correct answer is B. TLS. In Cisco SD-WAN, transport layer security is used to establish secure control plane adjacencies between nodes such as vSmart, vBorn, and VHCH routers. TLS ensures authentication, integrity, and confidentiality of control plane communications over the WAN. Why the other options are incorrect? A. IKE. Internet Key Exchange is used in IPsec to establish secure data plane tunnels, not for control plane adjacencies in SD-WAN. C. IPsec. IPsec is used to secure the data plane traffic, not the control plane communications between SD-WAN components. D. ESP. ESP is part of IPsec for encrypting data packets. It is not used to secure the control plane in SD-WAN. Therefore, the correct answer is B. Why would an engineer use Yang? The correct answer is B. To model data for netconf. Yang is a data modeling language used to define the structure and organization of configuration and operational data for network devices. It is commonly used with netconf to provide a standardized way to represent device configurations, enabling consistent automation and programmability. Why the other options are incorrect? A. To transport data between a controller and a network device. This describes the role of protocols like netconf or restconf, not Yang. Yang models the data but does not transport it. C. To access data using SNMP. SNMP uses MIBs for data modeling, not Yang. D. To translate JSON into an equivalent XML syntax. Yang does not perform data format translations. It defines the data structure, while protocols like restconf can present Yang-modeled data in either JSON or XML. Therefore, the correct answer is B. A network monitoring system uses SNMP polling to record the statistics of router interfaces. The SNMP queries work as expected until an engineer installs a new interface and reloads the router. After this action, all SNMP queries for the router fail. What is the cause of this issue? The correct answer is A. The SNMP interface index changed after reboot. In SNMP, each interface on a device is assigned a if index value, which is used in SNMP OIDs to query interface statistics. When a new interface is added and the device is rebooted, these index numbers can change. If the monitoring system relies on fixed if index values, the queries will fail because the OIDs no longer match the intended interfaces. Why the other options are incorrect? B. The SNMP server traps are disabled for the link state. Link state traps are notifications sent to the NMS, Disabling them does not affect SNMP polling. C. The SNMP server traps are disabled for the interface index. Similar to option B, trap configuration does not impact SNMP polling queries. D. The SNMP community is configured incorrectly. An incorrect community string would cause polling to fail at all times, not just after adding a new interface and rebooting. Therefore, the correct answer is A. Which character formatting is required for DHCP option 43 to function with current AP models? The correct answer is D. Hex. For current Cisco AP models, DHCP option 43 must be formatted in hexadecimal. This option is used to provide the AP with the IP address of the wireless LAN controller during the boot process, and the value must be encoded in hex for the AP to interpret it correctly. Why the other options are incorrect? A. MD5. MD5 is a hashing algorithm and is not used for encoding DHCP option 43 values. B. Base64. Base64 is an encoding format often used for data transport, but it is not the required format for DHCP option 43 in Cisco AP deployments. C. ASCII. While older APs could use ASCII formatting, current Cisco AP models require hex encoding for option 43 to function properly. Therefore, the correct answer is D. We have come to the end of today's video. If you liked the video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Goodbye.